right, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744, and today, guys, we'll do our weekend recap, guys, as part of the series that we've been doing. And today, we're actually going to be discussing about a few different announcements that are taking place this week in the football world. So I do want to discuss about that, and hopefully get some of you guys to get your thoughts on that. So we're going to discuss about the EPL, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and Liga. And as well as the fact we're going to touch upon the cup competitions because some of the cups have been decided the finals. So, like, for example, in La Liga, what is it called? In the Copa del Rey, we already have our final being known. It's going to be a Copa del Rey final. And then obviously on the European Pokal, we're going to have obviously um Armenia Bielefeld versus VfB Stuttgart. And then obviously in the Coupe de France, I believe it is. Let me just check what the Coupe de France final is. We're gonna have PSG versus Reims as the final, and obviously I think that's about that. And then obviously the FA Cup. We already know about that last week. We already discussed. So really honestly, guys, I just wanted to just quickly touch upon that. But we're gonna mainly discuss about the leagues for today, and then obviously talk about the two big players as well. So I did drop my video on KDB and Thomas Muller. So since we don't have many people right now on the panel, we're gonna probably maybe we'll get back to this topic a bit later in the stream when we get more people to join. Um, but yeah, so let me just put my timestamp here. So intro, um, and I'll just put like cup competitions here and parentheses. So, and obviously I think the Serie A, the Coppa Italia, I think it ended 1-1 the first leg. So, in the Milan derby. So, yeah. All right, let's just let's get back to business, guys, shall we? And let's start with the so Arminia Bielefeld says hello. Windsor guy says Arminia Bielefeld. All right, so let's start with the Premier League first. I'm going to be very brief with this, guys. There's not really much to discuss. The Premier League, like the guys, the Premier League is pretty much dead. We already know which team is going to win the league. And guys, let me be honest with you guys. We need to have a real conversation, guys. The Premier League this season has been really bad. I think in terms of competitiveness, this has been one of the worst I've seen in terms of competitiveness. The Premier League this season has been really underwhelming. Really underwhelming. Like, we already know which teams are going to get relegated. We already know which team is going to win the league. And we practically know which team is going to be in the Champions League. We know almost most of it. Now, I know people will tell me, oh, look, we have an interesting battle for the top 4 and 5. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I still feel like it's going to stay the same. I don't really feel like a lot's going to change. Like, I think Nottingham Forest is going to get it. Chelsea's probably going to get it. They're going to probably just scrape through. Manchester City, I don't really think Aston Villa is going to be consistent enough. Newcastle is looking good, but I don't think Newcastle's going to do it. I know they have 2 games in hand, but I don't think Newcastle's going to do it, and I don't really give Fulham a chance. So, and Brighton, no. So, for me, honestly, I think it's kind of decided the Champions League spots. Um, right. So, I will say I do feel like I mean Liverpool, Arsenal are obviously locked in. Nottingham Forest, they should get it. I mean, let's look at the team. So Chelsea, Man City, Villa, Newcastle. I would say so. Basically, how many teams are battling? We got Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, City, Villa, Newcastle, Fulham, Brighton, Bournemouth. Okay, let's just go through. Um, let's talk about this. So I think for me, Bournemouth is not making Champions League. I think they're in a really bad form. So I don't think Bournemouth's going to do it. Brighton, they're too inconsistent, so I don't think Brighton's going to do it. Fulham, they're not consistent enough. So really, I would say the main battle is between Forest, Chelsea, Man City, Aston Villa, Newcastle. I'll say these 5 teams. And remember, guys, because the Premier League is going to have 5 teams in the Champions League, 3 of those 5 are going to get Champions League. So I do expect Nottingham Forest to be one of them. Manchester City will probably be another. And then I'm going to say Chelsea get the last spot. I think Chelsea will get the last spot, and I think Villa and Newcastle will miss out. Um, I think I'm confident Forest. I think Forest is in a great position. I think City is also in a good position, and I think Chelsea will. It's good. I think when it's Chelsea or Villa or Newcastle is going to miss out. I mean, one of them is going to make it. Right now, I'm going to give Chelsea the benefit of the doubt just because of the money they spent, everything. Um, I don't really trust Villa, and I feel like Villa is going to be more focused on Champions League. And Newcastle, I just feel like Newcastle for me. I think that Carabao Cup victory. Yeah, I'm gonna say Chelsea. I think Chelsea get Champions League. So let me do a poll, guys. Let's actually do a quick poll, guys. We're gonna go through the matchups, obviously, but we're not gonna go into detail the matchups because honestly, I think it's much better we just discuss this way. So, which team you guys think is not gonna get Champions League of this? Which team you think is the worst position to get Champions League? Um, so let's actually do that. So, which team of the three is in most danger to miss out? So Chelsea. All right, let's read some of guys' comments. Liverpool needs to finish, man. Yeah, Liverpool. Yeah, bad loss to Fulham. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Liverpool's going to win the league. Like I said, they're going to win the league, guys, because Arsenal just tied Everton. So let's just quickly go through their games real quick, guys. Everton won, Arsenal won. Arsenal, how are you not beating Everton? Shame on you guys. Crystal Palace 2, Brighton 1. Good result there for Crystal Palace. Wolves beat Ipswich 2-1 away. Bournemouth, man, it's kind of bad for them to not get a result against West Ham because West Ham have not been that great this season. So, yeah, Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea, man, very underwhelming. Fulham 3, Liverpool 2. It was a good game. Liverpool did try to manage a late comeback, but obviously Liverpool's defense was really bad. I mean, I think Curtis Jones and I think Harvey Elliott. Sorry, no, Robertson made errors for the two goals there. The Tottenham beat Southampton 3-1. The United City guys, I'm not going to even speak about that garbage game. I'm sorry, that game was horrendous. I'm not going to even speak about that game. That game was atrocious to watch. So 0-0 draw, not much to say there. And then Leicester City and Newcastle. So, like I said, guys, it's interesting. Champions League race is still on. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could say Pookie, but I do feel like it's not going to be as exciting as people make it out to be. I do feel like we're going to get the teams you would expect to get Champions League. So that's probably the only thing that's pretty exciting with the Premier League, because the relegation battle is pretty much done. Like Southampton been officially relegated, and Leicester City, Ipswich are probably going to join them soon. So yeah, and yeah, so I would say probably that. To be honest, Premier League is not that great this season. Yeah. First and foremost, Valencia. We're gonna talk about Valencia, man. We're gonna talk about Valencia 7C. We're gonna talk about them. I just wanted to do EPL first. Bournemouth let me down. Second, about Muller and KDB. It's time. Yeah, we're gonna discuss about that as well. I think we're gonna do first. We're gonna do the leagues first, and then we'll discuss. We'll have a separate section on Muller and KDB. I want to hear from you guys in the chat, and maybe we'll get some panelists to come as well. Right now, it's say Villa, Newcastle, City, and Chelsea. Um, Newcastle good form. And again, third in my opinion. Southampton is insanely bad, worst team in Premier League history. Potentially. For real, man. Nope. They need 1 point to the Derby to tie Derby and 2 to pass. The race for CL spots is not finished. City and Newcastle. Man United were good in defense. I mean, yeah, I mean the City. I mean, I don't. We can't really judge too much from this game because City didn't really play well. Let's see what Man United does against Lyon. That will be a good indication. But yeah, I mean, United. Basically, the problem for United this season has been the attack. The attack's been their big issue this season. It's not really been the defense. Casemiro was good at midfield too. Yeah, he was good. Final thirds for United are bad. Yeah, United are atrocious in the attack. So we'll see what they do in that on that game on Thursday, of course, because that game is more significant for them as usual. So let's see what you guys saying in the poll here, guys. So most of you guys are going with okay, so it's actually quite split here, guys. So 2 people are going with Manchester City, 2 people are going with Chelsea. So let me explain my reasoning for these 3 teams. I would say here's the thing. Okay, so let's talk about City. Let's look at their running games. Let's look at their running games, guys. Let's look at City's running games. Um, so City got Crystal Palace at home. Now I know Crystal Palace is a bogey team for City, so City could draw points there, but still, I'd expect City to win. Man City should beat Everton. They should beat Aston Villa. Now that's the FA Cup game, so we're not going to look into that. Wolves should be a win. Southampton should be a win. Bournemouth at home should be a win. and then Fulham. So yeah, I mean, honestly, City have a pretty nice run of fixtures. I mean, the only fixture that could be difficult is maybe potentially Aston Villa at home, but they are at home, and City are generally pretty good at home. So I would give them the benefit of the doubt to win that. So yeah, City I think are in a pretty good position. I don't really see many games where they could draw points or lose. As for Nottingham Forest, let's look at their fixtures. Um, Nottingham Forest, they did lose to Aston Villa, which is a big blow, but I think they'll be okay. They should beat Everton. Tottenham away could be tricky. They could probably get a result there. Brentford at home could be tricky. Palace away, they should be able to beat Palace. They should be able to beat Leicester. They probably should beat West Ham. And Chelsea. That Chelsea game is going to be interesting, guys. That Chelsea game is on the final day of the season. This game, guys, could have massive ramifications for the Champions League position. So that game is important. So if I'm Nottingham Forest, I'll try to secure Champions League before that game because, Chelsea are going to go in for it. So, yeah. And then Chelsea, looking at their running games, um, they got Ipswich. Ipswich should be a winnable. Fulham away should be winnable, you would reckon. Everton, Liverpool. Um, Um, Liverpool at home could be tricky, but remember, Liverpool may have already been champions by then, so who knows how much that game. And the Newcastle away is going to be tricky. And then Man United, and then Nottingham Forest. So, dang, Chelsea actually have a pretty difficult run of games, guys. If you actually look at the last 4 games, it's actually pretty hard. They got Liverpool, Newcastle, and United and Forest back to back. So that's going to be a pretty tough game. So if I'm Chelsea, guys, I would definitely try to get most of these points you can before the May games come around. Because once the May games come around, that's where it can be really tricky for Chelsea. Really, really tricky for Chelsea in particular there. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, let's read some guys' comments. United does worst defense against lower skilled teams. Yeah, I guess you could say low. Nine probably does better draw if they had Chris Wood. Draw. What do you mean by draw? Liverpool might start trying to win after might stop trying after winning. Yeah, yeah. So, but the thing is, we don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a very risk. Nottingham probably does better if they have Chris Wood. Oh yeah, Chris Wood's obviously been instrumental. Obviously, I believe he's injured, so that's probably the reason why they haven't been as good. Um, but still, he's been on fire. So yeah. Um, so yeah. Let me see what you guys saying in the chat. So most of you guys are saying Manchester City missed out on Champions League. I feel like you guys are just being biased. I would pick Chelsea because Manchester City's the running games isn't that hard. Chelsea have the hardest set of games. I mean, Chelsea got literally 4 games that could be difficult for them back to back. So I'm going to go with Chelsea as a run harder set of games. But who knows? Maybe Man City might miss out. And no one's voted new and not a four, surprisingly. So that's interesting. All right, I think we're going to move to the next league. There's not really much else to say about the Premier League, so guys, let's move on, shall we? And let's talk about La Liga, guys. La Liga, La Liga, guys. La Liga, La Liga. All right, so by round. All right, so we're gonna start with the first game we got here. It is Rayo Vallecano 0, Espanyol 4. Man, Espanyol, man. As much as I don't want to admit this, that is a really impressive win. To beat Rayo 4-0 on the road. Normally, I wouldn't do this, guys, but I have to give them a round of applause because that's a really difficult achievement to do because we know Rayo at home is very strong and they rarely lose at home. And if they lose, it's usually like a close game. It's usually like a close game. But they rarely lose by a big smashing at home. So the fact that Espanyol actually managed to do it is pretty commendable to them. So shout out to them, man, for getting that big, big away win there. Cabrera, Fernandez, Boyata, and Milis scored the goals there. And yeah, they were just clinical. Girona 0, Deportivo Alaves 1. Um, So, um,
Oh God.
Alabas
I don't think
got the
I'm
win.
here for
By the way,
once.
we already did the prem section, so do you
The
is
what?
there, we already did the prem section. Do you want to speak about the prem, or we just start just because you have a Liga on?
Newcastle didn't play, so I don't care.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean the prem was really boring anyway this weekend, so there wasn't really much to say.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, actually, let me just start from this game. Rayo Vallecano nil, Espanyol 4. Because, bro, I mean, how did this happen? I don't. This is such a random, crazy result.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect it. But to be honest, I've always said I'm not surprised that. I've said a while ago already. I said Espanyol will stay up, and it seems like they will. Because I just think that they have a slight edge of quality. Juan Prado and a few others have actually turned up for Espanyol, so yeah, good result for them, especially on the road, especially given that two other teams around them got wins. So yeah, Espanyol, I've always said will stay up by the end of the season. It seems like they will.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Girona nil, Deportivo Alaves 1. Alaves, man, gets a win there against Girona on the road. And Girona, man, I think, I think the hype is done.
I mean, it was done before the season even started. Like I always never what do you call this? I always knew that they're not getting European football. Like they're not that good. Last season, yeah, they were good, but this season different changes and all. And obviously, I was like, if Brian Hill is one of the main players, I'm like, no. So I'm not surprised how poor Girona's season has been.
Yeah, I think this guy's been really good. I think
Oh
Asprilla,
yeah,
I think he's
yeah,
probably been one of the best players. He's probably been one of their best
yeah,
players. Man, I feel so
yeah.
bad for him. He might make a move.
He'll probably will. Um,
Yeah.
because well, Girona is not going to offer European football, so yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna save the three games for last, the three big three. We'll just and then we're gonna go those games last. So Mallorca won, Celta Vigo 2. Celta Vigo gets a win there on the road. Big win for Celta. As Celta we didn't have a good start to the season, but I think they've kind of turned it around and now putting themselves in a good position to potentially get European football, which is crazy.
Actually, Celta Vigo started the season quite well.
Oh, so maybe I was wrong there. Oh, Mallorca. Mallorca is, I guess, the other. I meant to say Mallorca.
Yeah,
Mallorca had a
but
good start to the season.
yeah, good. Obviously, good result for the Putas. For them, if they get European football, it'll be great because maybe I could actually go to their ground next season.
Wow.
Probably supporting the other team. But yeah, I mean, at least if they're getting European football, at least Deportivo earlier, like just a couple, like few minutes ago, we beat Cadiz in the Segunda. So we're in a good run of form. It seems like Celta's in a good run of form. So yeah, it seems like the two big Galician clubs actually are performing well over the past 5, 6, 7 games. So yeah, but yeah, good win for Celta, I guess. Mallorca, there's still a chance, but I think ultimately they just won't have it in the bag.
Real Sociedad finally, finally, they got a massive win, and this is like like when how Sociedad been like it's wondering me like Sociedad looked really good in this game, and it's baffled me like this team we know has so much quality, but they have been this so underwhelming this season, and this performance here against Las Palmas on the road might be one of the best performances they've had this season. Obviously, I think the one of the second leg to Bernabeu was also pretty good too. But this has been one of the best, and it's wonders to me like why can't Sociedad do this on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean technically they La Real are eighth in the table, which is technically European football now, because I think La Liga gets the extra spot. So
Yeah,
that means it'll be 8 teams, and I mean it doesn't really matter who wins the Copa. But yeah, for Sociedad, maybe they have turned around form. I mean they've gotten back-to-back wins for the first time in like 17 years, it seems like. But yeah, good result for them. Even though I'll be honest, it's against probably the worst team of the year. Um, I mean, there's a case that Valladolid shit, but Las Palmas are shit. Like I think they're going down now, and they have to sack Martinez. Las Palmas. They have not. We're going into mid-April. We're going into Easter now, and they still haven't won a game in the entire year. Las Palmas.
Bro, that's
We're
sad.
heading to Easter. That's how bad they've been. So I think they have to sack Martinez.
Yeah, that's really bad, man. Good topic for Real Valladolid nil. It's not a surprise. Real Valladolid are probably one of the worst teams this season, along with Southampton. Um, this season, the top five leagues, and yeah, I mean Real Valladolid is just atrocious, and I feel bad for R9, man. Like you're the
Yeah,
owner of this team, and
I
yeah,
mean the fans don't like him anyway. So yeah,
yeah,
great footballer, probably just a bad football owner, I guess.
yeah.
But
Getafe, man.
Valladolid are down. Actually, Getafe have a outside chance of getting European football again, believe
Oh
it or
yeah, do you
not.
remember? I remember. I think 4 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. Getafe. I remember they played against Inter in the Europa League. That was like
I
2020. I
think
think.
I'm not sure. Did they play Man United as well? I know they made
They
like
might have.
the last 16 or quarterfinal of the Europa,
I
but
remember. I remember they knocked Ajax out. That was crazy. Like a lot of people were
oh
surprised
yeah,
at that.
that I remember. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean they could get European football again. Though I'll be honest, even though they won 4-0, they are still pretty boring to watch. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah. Real Valladolid are just horrible. So take it with a grain of salt because Getafe usually don't score this amount of goals. They
yeah,
usually don't. So
yeah.
you know, but yeah, I mean, the Celta Vigo. I remember they got European football. I think they played against Man United when Man United
In
actually
the
won the Europa
semi,
League.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
And thankfully, Man United won.
Yeah, and the Villarreal nil, Bilbao nil. Man, this game was so underwhelming. I thought maybe this game could be a good game. It's a top four battle, but I feel like because Spain is getting that additional spot, this battle didn't really seem as exciting as I feel like that because of most likely knowing that it didn't feel as interesting as it could have been.
Well,
Do you
I
agree with that?
mean, if you want to know, if you look at the table, the battle for basically the fifth place spot is Champions League. It's
Yeah.
basically a battle between Villarreal and Betis. And guess
Oh
who
yeah,
Villarreal
Betis.
play next?
Wow, Betis.
So, I mean, that's probably the game of you could say the weekend. I think, you could say whoever wins that maybe has a big boost, but yeah, it's a big game next week. Just heading up to Easter, so yeah, but this game 0-0, meh. I mean, the red card, yeah, talking point, but I think I'll say this Athletic Club recently haven't looked as impressive, I would say. And this is kind of why I'm not saying I'm worried, but I still think they're not winning the Europa League as many people think, even though I kind of but I just have a feeling that Athletic will not have the fairy tale that everyone thinks will happen. Because I'm not as impressed with Athletic Club, but Athletic Club will get Champions League. So I think the main aim is the Europa League. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason why Bilbao didn't really push as hard in this game because they were probably like had their eyes on the Europa League game
Yeah,
on
because
Thursday.
it's
So
on Thursday
yeah,
against
so
Rangers
yeah,
at their ground. Rangers in Glasgow.
yeah. So Villarreal, man, they'll probably feel aggrieved that we could have won this game, and had they won this game, it could have been massive. But it is what it is, and they
Yeah.
play Real Betis next, and Leganes Osasuna. Let's see what this game brings tomorrow. Let's see if Leganes can maybe do something. You know,
I mean, Legans have to win because everyone above them got wins. Same thing for Osasuna. Osasuna haven't won a game in like I don't remember. That's how long it's been. So yeah, I think should be interesting in Madrid basically because they're based in Madrid. But yeah, prediction on that. I believe I said Leganes win, but I forgot. But I think Leganes will probably get the result. But who knows? Maybe Budimir might turn up for Osasuna. But if Leganes don't win, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but they have to win basically to at least be in the relegation fight.
All right, now some of the big three. Let's start with this one. Sevilla 1, Atletico Madrid 2. Atletico Madrid, man, finally gets a win. Finally gets a win. And that's the last minute winner from Pablo Barrios. Alvarez gets a penalty there. Agume with the goal, their 7th minute. And yeah, Atletico, they get a win. They needed this win badly to keep themselves alive in the title race. And with this win, and with the two teams dropping points, are they back in this, man?
I mean, remember what I told you when I think they lost to Barcelona the 4-2 before the
Yeah.
international break. I did say Atletico Madrid has a pretty good fixture run because they have no European football and they play fucking Valladolid. I mean, come on. Sure,
Oh,
I would say surely they beat Valladolid in the next game. But if you look at Atleti's next, let's say the next 4 games, it's at home against Valladolid, easy. Las Palmas away, I mean, it's Las Palmas. Rayo Vallecano, maybe, but you'd probably expect them to win. Alaves, relegation battle. So, look, I could see them, winning all 4 games. We'll see how it goes with Madrid and Barcelona, but yeah, I think Atletico are probably, I would say, the biggest winners. I mean, probably them and I would say as probably I don't know. There's a lot. I'll probably say Valencia are the biggest winners, but Atleti are probably the biggest winners because now they're only 3 points behind Real Madrid. I know it's like 7 points behind the leaders Barcelona, but look, Barcelona eventually have to play Real Madrid, not in the Copa, but in the league. So that's a guaranteed someone's dropping points. So
yeah.
I don't think it's over, but I think Atletico have to carry on this, build on this win over Sevilla in the last minute they got. So we'll see. I could see them winning all 4 games, the next 4 games, or even 5 if you want to include Sociedad and Osasuna. So there's a chance. There's a chance. But at the moment, it's light. But I would say don't be surprised if they put a run of results on and then choke in the last minute, as in like the last couple games maybe, because they play
Okay,
Betis
so
and obviously they play the goat Anthony. So yeah,
yeah, so let's look at the run of games real quick. So they got Real Valladolid at home. Okay, they should beat them.
easy
I would
win.
expect.
Las
Las
Palmas,
Palmas
easy
away.
win.
Okay, Rayo could be tricky. Could be.
Maybe, but that 4-0 loss, if Atleti at home, should be expecting. So let's say
Like
they
they
win.
should, but they should win. But it wouldn't surprise if they draw points. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, true. And then
Okay, then
Alaves
Deportivo Alaves,
should be
that
beating
better
them.
be a win.
And
Sociedad,
then okay, maybe, but just based on how we're seeing Sociedad this season, don't be
they
surprised
should
if
win.
Atleti win. So that's what 15 points. That would be what 75 points before the final 3 games of the season, and that Sociedad game is on the same weekend of the El Clasico, I believe. If I'm
Ooh,
not,
yeah.
maybe I'm not, or maybe I got it wrong, but something like that.
Okay, then also in a way that could be tricky. I could see Atletico draw points. The Betis could be tricky. And then the
Yeah, because
last
the
game, what they
goat
had last game, Girona
Girona.
away. Yeah, they should win that. So really, yeah, I think you're right, Ten. Actually, they got a pretty decent run of games. Like I think the
Yeah,
hardest game they probably have left is Betis. That's probably the hardest game.
yeah, because they play the goat. So yeah,
Yeah,
Anthony.
and you know
Yeah,
what? Yeah, and actually, you know what? I think it's a good segue to Real Betis Barca, man. And Real Betis, man. It feels frustrating with Barca because I really feel like this was a game that we could have won, and it would have been massive if we won this game because we know Real Madrid lost earlier today, and it's just frustrating that we couldn't win this game. And I just feel like we created a lot of chances, but we just didn't convert our chances. At Real Betis, man, Anthony, man, Real Betis haven't lost a game against both Real Madrid and Barcelona.
I
And you know what the thing is with Anthony? That's interesting. And you know what the thing is? I would say Real Betis is probably the second most informed La Liga team this year.
oh yeah,
Quite crazy to
obviously.
say.
I mean, before this game, they were on a 6-game winning one. So and
Yeah,
Barcelona, we know how their form has been. So I wasn't, to be honest, in my preview, I said Betis would win this game. I wasn't wrong. I was close, but I did say, Betis or the real deal. Look. I don't think it's a surefire thing that Villarreal get Champions League because they're on the same points, and Betis play at home against Villarreal next weekend. So yeah, I mean Betis they can carry on the form because I think they actually with the goat Anthony. Look, like if Newcastle and Betis play next season and Betis still have Anthony, I'm not worried about Barcelona or Real Madrid or Atleti. No, I'll be really worried about Betis because they have Anthony.
And you know what the crazy thing is? Betis managed to get a draw even without one of their best players, Isco, because Isco was obviously suspended due to yellow
Exactly.
card accumulation. So that's
Goat.
encouraging.
Goat. Yeah.
So yeah. Barca, man, we conceded from a set piece there. Not Tom with the equalizer. Gavi with his goal there. Obviously, he scored there. Obviously, he didn't want to celebrate against his boyhood club, which was kind of interesting, even though he's La Masia. But anyways, I don't know what's up there. But anyways, he didn't want to celebrate, so fair enough, I guess. And
He
Barca,
wants to be very good.
we should have scored those chances, man. Lewandowski and Balde's chances, man. Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
some glorious chances, Ferran Torres. But it is what it is. Our winning streak had to end at some point, and I guess this was probably
No
the game.
surprise it was by the goat.
So now we're gonna talk about this game, and I saved this game purposely on last.
Obviously.
Is it over for Real Madrid? I want to hear from you,
No.
Ted, first,
No. It's
because
not.
believe it or not, Ted, I've heard a lot of people on the social media said, "Oh, it's over. Real Madrid's looking so bad. They're not going to win La Liga and all this stuff." I've heard people say. I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I said
Yeah.
that. I'm saying there's the general notion on this, and everyone like a lot of people are blaming Carlo Ancelotti for this defeat. So I want to hear from you, Ten. Do you think Ancelotti should get more blame, or the players deserve more blame, or it's 50-50?
I think I'll probably say both. I mean, I don't know if I don't know what will happen with the story about the tax evasion of Ancelotti. I don't know how that will go, but I don't really think it really mattered in the result. But yeah, I think both. Basically, everyone in Real Madrid, the manager, Ancelotti, and the players, whatever, I think take a lot of the blame. I mean, losing to Valencia is you could say bad, I guess. But yeah, I think is it over in terms of the title race for Real Madrid? No, because they play Alaves next. But anyway, I still think I 110% fully believe that the referees and everything at La Liga they are trying their absolute best to make the El Clasico on the 11th or 12th, wherever it is, of May to be like if you
Decisive.
remember back, like the Manchester Derby in 2011-12 season when Man City won to overtake Man United. Like they are purposely making it like that. Like Barca Real Madrid on the 10th or 11th. I probably assume
Yes,
it's the 11th.
but,
Um,
but
we'll
but
see.
yeah. But you know what the thing is? I've heard because the thing is when it comes to a league title, if you want to win the league, you got to play well throughout the season, majority of the season. You can have like some
Mm,
patches where you don't really play well. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think Real Madrid have been that great this season. Even though it's their second La Liga, they're only 4 points behind. I don't think they've been that great. They really haven't really together a lot of good great wins together. And I think I heard the stat. Real Madrid have won 4 La Liga games in a row, but they have not done that. So, I
yeah.
mean, what do you think, Ten? Like, do you think to win the league title you have to be amazing for like most of the season, or you could like just be inconsistent and rely on vibes and individual brilliance to win your league?
Ooh. I think probably the first one.
Yeah, because I do feel like Real Madrid this season have been relying on individual brilliance most of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. But who knows? They could win a treble, but they do play the mighty Arsenal.
So, like the thing is like Real Madrid, and the thing is Real Madrid's defense is really bad. And I'm sorry, Vasquez is just a liability. Um, I don't know what's happened to Rudiger this season. I don't know what's happened to this guy because this guy was like so amazing center defensively last season. this season he's looking really shaky. I know he scored some crucial goals here and there. I know he had a chance at the last minute in this game, but yeah, then Tchouaméni being played out of position. I
Yeah,
know he wasn't really bad in this game, but I'm just saying in general. And then Fran Garcia and like Real Madrid's defense, and obviously I had the third choice goalkeeper play in this game. We have to keep in mind their second choice keeper Luna got injured, and Courtois is injured. So yeah, and Marzio he had a masterclass in goal. I mean, he made a lot of saves in particular.
yeah.
So, so and then
With the
obviously a big talking
penalty,
point. And then a big talking point in this game was that should Vinny have taken that penalty? Because even though Mbappe won the penalty, Vinny took the penalty. So do you think it was a mistake? I mean, I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but at the moment, who would you have given the penalty to?
I always feel like I don't know. Always give it to the best penalty taker, no matter who wins the penalty. So if
Yeah,
Ancelotti thinks that Vinny is the best penalty taker on the pitch at that time, then okay, Vinny should take. That's what I would say. Always the best penalty taker should always take the penalty. Um, but I guess Ancelotti probably thought Vinny was. So yeah,
yeah, and that was a bad penalty there from Vinny. And I don't know what's happened to Vinny this season because Vinny's been really underwhelming this season. I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe the Ballon d'Or thing has affected him because he's looking really shaky this season. I don't know what's happened to Vinny. He's not been as good as before.
yeah.
Um, and obviously, you know what the thing is for Real Madrid. I think there's only been two players I think has been really good for Real Madrid this season from start to finish. Three players, I guess you could say.
Valverde.
Valverde. Valverde's been really good. Actually, no, I was going to say the second guy, but I'm thinking about it. He didn't really have a good first half of the season, so I can't even really say him. So I'll say
Who
Valverde and Courtois probably. It's probably these two players.
who was the other one you just decided not? I guess
I was going to say
Mbappe.
this. Yeah, I was going to say Mbappe, but he didn't have a good first half of the season. So
Yeah, but he's very close. I think he's very close to breaking um the all-time record of scoring in all competitions for Real Madrid in a debut season, previously
yeah,
held by Ronaldo, I think, in 2009-10. So,
yeah.
but I think it really depends on what trophies they win. So, um, we'll see. We'll see.
And also, this is really weird from Ancelotti. Why didn't you start Asensio on this game? Like, I think he should have got started this game, or at least got some minutes. And the fact he didn't, and also Luna was apparently on the bench. So why was Luna benched? I thought Luna wasn't. I thought he was injured. So what? Like, it's so confusing from Ancelotti. Like, I just don't know what's
Yeah,
going on. It's so confusing
yeah,
for Real Madrid. They're just such a chaotic team. And as I said before, I'm going to say this again, guys. Real Madrid is the most chaotic team in the world. This team, you just don't know what you're going to get. This team is like
yeah,
super crazy, unpredictable. I don't know what to
yeah.
expect with this team. Like, tell me there's another team that's more unpredictable than Real Madrid. I'll wait.
Probably Newcastle. I'll be honest. But yeah, I think I've always said Real Madrid will not win the Champions League. Well, I think they could still win La Liga, and obviously they can win the Copa because it's a one-off. But I always feel like the Champions League this season, only this season, I don't think they'll win it. The mighty Arsenal will play Bayern in the final, obviously. But yeah, I do think eventually Real Madrid, I think, will get unstuck by, well, Arsenal. We'll see. If not Arsenal, it's likely going to be PSG. And I think that would be the big game to decide um, how Real Madrid's season pans out. Because I think
Well,
if they lose the league title and the Copa, then at least win the Champions League. I still think they'll
because
win one trophy, minimum one, but I don't think they'll win a treble.
because here's the thing. Because I said this before. I said this on even a H stream, and he was surprised he even says. I said that Real Madrid, what they care about most in the season is not the Copa del Rey. It's not La Liga. It's not the treble. It's the Champions League. They care about the most.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they'll try to get the other trophies. I'm not saying they don't care. I don't want to sound like that, but their main aim is the Champions League. And
Yeah.
so for Real Madrid, and that's the crazy thing, they could lose La Liga. They could get pinch slapped and Barca wins the league by 10 points. But they could win the Champions League and it'll still be a good season for them. And they lose the Copa del Rey
Yeah.
final to Barca. So,
Yeah.
like, So the thing, and that's the thing for Real Madrid, and for me, they have to get at least one of the three trophies. Because I'm sorry, if they do not get any of the three trophies, we're gonna have an emergency stream because that will be embarrassing. Embarrassing. I'm sorry, that cannot happen. With this
Yeah.
team, that will look really bad. So that's why I say, like, for Real Madrid, I just think that for me, obviously mathematically they're not out of it, but mentally, because we have to also think about mentally. I think mentally they're feeling very fatigued. I don't
Yeah.
think this team is consistent. So, like, if you had to pick which team is more likely to drop points on a regular basis, I'd probably pick Real Madrid, just because we don't know what you're going to get with Real Madrid. At times they can play really well, at times they can play really bad. You just don't know what you're going to get. Whereas Barca, we're looking generally pretty good. Like, we haven't lost a game this year at all. So,
Yeah.
so that's what I say. So I'm not saying it's over, but it does feel like Barcelona are the favorites. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, even after the draw, but we'll see. We'll see how the season does pan out. We'll know everything, in 2 months. Who won the league, who won the Champions League, and all that. So we'll see how much of a loss this loss against Valencia is for Real
And by the way,
Madrid.
guys, you know some crazy guys. This is the first time. This is Valencia's first away win in La Liga this season, and
Oh,
this is the
I didn't
first.
know that.
This is the first time Valencia beaten Real Madrid away from home since 2009. So that's pretty crazy.
Actually, I didn't even know
So
that. Yeah.
that's pretty crazy, man. So for Real Madrid, they got the goal there from Vini, got the goal there, and then Diakabi scored the header. Then Hugo Dor scored the header last minute, and yeah, I mean, craziness, man, craziness. As we look at the table right here, guys, this is how the tables look at Barcelona, top of 67 points, Real Madrid 63 points, and 8 games to go. La Liga still very much in the grabs, and this title race isn't done. This title race isn't done. So let's go ahead and read some of you guys' comments as we move on over to the other leagues. The other leagues, we don't have as much discussion points, but this is the league that we probably the most discussion points here. So let me read some of you guys' comments. I've been seeing to miss out. I think United doing better, Gusty, with it. I'm running this summer. This is Barca's league to lose. I agree. Rayo Vallecano got clapped. What's good, tenant item? I don't know if you spell your name right. I think it's close enough. It's not exactly, but it's close enough. You know. Do you remember bad the season respect? Go figure it out, though. I don't got anything to
Nah,
say
that's
about
cool.
Madrid. They're bad low. Las Palmas has 6 wins. 6 wins. Jeez.
Yeah, all in 2024.
Yeah.
We're in
I saw
2025 now.
I saw a Valladolid player try to punch his own teammate on the
Oh
bench.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. That's
I
funny.
mean, they're going
Yeah.
down anyway. So
I'm predicting a draw. Luckily, I didn't change the low. Atletico could be back in La Liga title race. By the way, Benfica just beat Porto 4-1. We're going to discuss about the other leagues in the end. Matt's bad. I don't. I wonder how Matt's is feeling. Dang. Someone
yeah,
check Matt's
unfortunately.
Anthony effect, but he's not appreciate. I appreciate this, but a Barcelona also been better. Hey, you got folks on your team, man. Make sure you get your job done, okay? Don't rely on other teams. And this is also another thing I hate. Don't rely on other teams to do you favors. You gotta do it yourself, okay? So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, as a Real Madrid fan, you're happy. Lost, yeah, and it was. I feel like Betis will get UCL.
Yeah, with the
Ooh.
goat.
I think they. My issue is I think they may be more focused on Conference League. That's the only issue I have. But do you
I
think
mean,
they'll?
they'll
Do you think
they'll they'll, they'll do both.
both?
Anthony the goat. Why
I would
not?
love to. I would love for them to do both, but I don't think both is realistic.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'll be there when Anthony scores the winning goal against Chelsea in Warsaw in the
I just hope the
Conference
guys.
League.
I just hope the guys show some play if I come El Clasico fight for the badge. Yeah, like that. Like the thing is, like with that El Clasico, as Sen said earlier, I think they're trying to make the El Clasico be a relevant match. You know, they'd want the match to have stakes and not like a dead rubber. You know,
Yeah.
so
So I think at some point, I don't know when, maybe Barcelona drops another points in like the next few games. Like who do they have?
was
Minus
April's
the
play.
Dortmund games,
Oh, sorry, that's
but
Copa, right?
that's a copper, so that doesn't matter. But like they could drop points to a Celta, they could drop points to whoever. So you never know. You just never know how La Liga will set it up. Like
All
I
right,
think
guys.
eventually we'll still have that. Yeah, they
Yeah, what
play
happened?
they
May
play
11th.
Leganes, Ceuta, Mallorca, Valladolid before they play Real Madrid in the El Clasico in La Liga. And
All
I
right, let's
have a
just look at Real
feeling,
Madrid. Ooh, let's look at Real
minus
Madrid's
the
fixture.
Arsenal games, I oh I believe they beat Alaves, they beat Athletic Club, they beat Getafe, and they beat whoever else. But then
Celta
so
Vigo.
that and they'll beat Celta as usual. And then Barcelona, when they host Celta, will probably draw to them, but win the other games. So that means what? It'll be only be like a 2 point gap or something like that. But by the time you play them in the 11th of May, like I foresee it. I foresee it.
Yeah. What haven't missed? Yeah, go back to the previous timestamps, man. I put timestamps for the sections you missed. Guys from London, see after all. After all, huh? Our individual bros and vibes under Angelo. I feel like it's both the players and Ancelo's fault. Never has to be born in London. Barca to be from London, see a little. Corbriana saved Valencia from relegation. Yeah. Valencia looking good, man. Valencia, I told you guys, Valencia are going to survive. And now it's pretty much likely they will. Car's done all he can for us. Vinny should never take penalties for Real Madrid again. I think the thing with Real Madrid, I was talking to a Real Madrid fan who said this, like Real Madrid have like a rotate. They don't have like a set penalty taker. They kind of rotate their penalty takers, which I'm not really sure that's the most ideal. You
Yeah,
always want a set penalty taker. You know,
yeah.
but it hasn't for real, man. It's time for her to go Brazil. Well, let's see, man. Let's see if Brazil wants him. He's made bad decisions. Even in Magnon could Benedict would take better penalty. I see. I misread your comments, so ignore that. I'm talking all the time. Also, I know a player's not to be born must be from obviously. Vinny playing like he does for Brazil for Real Madrid. Okay. Let's not go that far. I think it's a bit harsh. But it's been bad so far. Okay. Well, fell off. We don't deny. Vinny did great for Colombia. One game merchant, of course. Always a good game. Okay. Alba's
Oh,
finished.
Alaba is finished. Yeah,
Yeah, Alaba, man. Yeah, Real Madrid probably
unfortunately.
need to sell him this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to go desert league. Vinny's in Real Madrid's penalty taker. One good game for Brazil. Yes, he is. Sorry. Yeah, Vinny's still good at penalties. Come on, but let's not get this reactionary.
Yeah,
One low.
there's only one penalty. Like he scores, and he'll probably score against Arsenal if they get a penalty in either of the games.
Asensio has carried Real Madrid defense for real. I agree. He's not considered Brazil like he should be. Vinny first missed for Madrid came for Atletico. Asensio, I agree with that. He runs well for Brazil. Once in a while for Brazil. I just need to see the Real 4. Of course you do. But I'll be fully fit. Angelo should have more league titles than with teams he's managed for real. Man City, Man United, what about them? Yeah, he's same. They're chaotic. Nah, I still think Real Madrid is more chaotic than those two. So yeah, is Dortmund. Dortmund's also a good shout to be fair, but I was looking at big teams. But yeah, I guess you could also say Dortmund. Yeah, to be honest. Goal should be a regular start for Real Madrid. Angelo doesn't win back-to-back league titles. That's been stolen. Real Madrid should thank Real Betis. Rodrigo's been bad for a while. Yes, I see. Rodrigo because it's Sacco Rodrigo. We missed the bias, but we're getting better with him. Yeah, I think Rodrigo's better. AD, when do you think Barca will finally lose the match 2025?
Oh, it'll be such a coincidence. You get knocked out by Dortmund now. You win everything, but you lose to Dortmund in the most crucial moment.
I think we're talking about La Liga. I'm assuming you're talking about La
Oh, in
Liga.
La Liga, probably against Real Madrid,
Yeah, that's what the hype
just to
team.
set it all up.
And it's a weird thing, guys. Barcelona, I don't know why, but we always have this bad record against Real Madrid at home for some reason.
Yeah, so it'll probably be like that. Like,
Oh, Bilbao's also a good shout. I mean, it might be a dead. Maybe that might also be a tricky one.
no, you know what's the funny thing is that Real Madrid's opponent on the final day is also La Real Sociedad. So it's the Basque teams that will probably decide who wins, or or a Catalan team decides it because
Oh my geez,
let's
that's Spaniel.
play Girona. Oh, and you play Espanyol as well. Like, look at the
Espanyol away
May
from home.
fixture. Look at that fixture list for Barcelona in
That's
May.
pretty hard. That's pretty hard to be
It
fair.
what do you call this? Real Madrid, obviously, and then Espanyol. Of course, Espanyol want to beat Barcelona if that means they don't win the
And
league.
remember it's away from home as well. Like at home, I would be confident, but away from
Oh,
home, it's
you know what would be fantastic? Remember that one time Barcelona danced around the center circle of the Espanyol Stadium?
Oh,
Oh, I would love it if, let's say, Espanyol
no,
beat Barcelona
no,
and Espanyol
no.
dance around the center circle when they beat Barcelona, and if that's somehow the one that, maybe Barcelona don't win the league, I will be there. Vamos Espanyol. And then obviously Villarreal, they'll probably be competing for the, what do you call this, top five, maybe. And then Athletic Club on the final day, crazier things have happened. So you never know. You just never know.
Yeah, I think they go.
Yeah, the
I don't
goat.
think Real Betis win the conference. We'll see. This is probably the most painful league since 14-15. What do you mean? Matches, by the way. I think Betis will win UCL, in my opinion. I mean, league lost, by the way, 2021. Even over Chelsea or Fiorentina. Yeah, Chelsea aren't that good, and Fiorentina are bottlers. Yeah, it's up there. Another that rotated penalty, taking nonsense. Low. Fiorentina have a clinical striker De Gea, and Chelsea have European pedigree. The football's left Alaba. Still calls that Vinny's a pen taker the other day. Fiorentina ball 2 UCL finals. Where did my message go? Yeah, no clinical striker. Dortmund attack is doing well right now. Do they look threatening, especially if they decide to play low block at the black? You know what? I think we'll save that for the Bundesliga section. We'll save that for the Bundesliga section. Alba's finished, so he's very rusty. I mean, to be fair, he's just coming back from an ACL injury, I believe, right? I think it's his first match
Yeah,
against
but
Madrid.
it's like I barely remember the last time he's actually been good. That's how long it's been. So yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, the injuries probably have taken a toll on him.
he's finished. Why did I look Madrid have to fall off? I think so, huh? I don't know. Low. It was from me section. Like fall because that's history of Atletico. It's probably more like Espanyol. It was bad, so you're fine. I wanted them to do a La Liga, man. Most of the times I like when I watch that section. Windsor guy, low, low, low. So let's see what guys say in the poll, guys. Let's see what guys say in the poll. So most of you guys are saying Real Madrid is not out of the title race. Interesting. Like obviously from a mathematical point of view, they're not. But mentally, if I had to give an answer, I would probably say no. But I will say Barca are probably favorites. I think that's probably the fair answer.
Oh yeah, obviously. But
All right.
I 100% know what the La Liga people and all that are going to do. They make the El Clasico like the high stakes game and Real Madrid wins so that it's actually a title race till the end
All
because they
right. Let's
want a
look
good
at
product as well.
let's look at Serie A, man. Serie A, there wasn't really a whole lot of excitementness. If we're being real, it was kind of a bit underwhelming. Um, not
Not
really a whole
really.
lot of not a whole lot of talking
Oh,
points,
they
but we
don't
got
play.
Genoa. Yeah, Udinese nil. Good win for Genoa there. Como beats Monza 3-1, and then Parma Inter, man. This was a big talking point.
Comeback.
Inter dropped 2 points here. And yeah, I did say I remember I said this in my preview, guys, that this could be a tricky game for Inter. Parma away could be a tricky game, and looks like I was right. And Bastoni getting injured is a big, big blow for their Champions League aspirations. Obviously, they're going to be playing the Champions League game against Bayern next week, so
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see what happens. So
yeah, on
yeah, I mean,
Tuesday. Yeah.
are you worried for Inter in the sense that that Bastoni injury could affect the league title aspirations?
I think probably. Yeah, I don't know how long the injury is or how bad it is.
It didn't say here, so we don't know.
Yeah, so I guess it depends. Um, Maybe he'll probably miss the first leg of the Bayern game and maybe the game this coming weekend in Serie A. But I feel like it just depends on how the rest of the how his injury is. If it's a long time, then
Ooh, that's bad.
that might be bad. But I've always said Inter does have the best squad depth in Europe's top five leagues, so I'm not very concerned. But of course, losing a player like him would be not ideal.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously.
he's one of their best. He's one of their best players. So it's a blow if they lose him. So we'll see how they cope without him. But yeah, I mean, not a good result there for Inter. The Milan man, it's funny. One Milan threw away a 2-0 lead, and the other one came from 2-0 down.
Yeah,
It would have been
I
funny if
guess
they did
that's
the
really
same
going
time.
to affect this season.
But yeah, for Fiorentina, man, Milan, man, those first 10 minutes was horrible. Musa making a horrible mistake there. I don't know what's happened to Musa this season. He's been awful. Then threw out with the own goal there. The Milan, I was saying, oh my geez, they're 2-0 down to Fiorentina at home. This is disgraceful. Then they managed to turn around. Abraham getting the goal there on the 23rd minute to make it 2-1. And then obviously Crystal Posey with the six, and Jovic, man, with this Tomori with his sister Jovic to make it 2-all. And then yeah, Fiorentina almost won at the end there with Dota with the offside goal, and then Palladino got sent off. So yeah, Magnan, man of the match, man, and yeah, Milan, man, really bad. I think Milan's defense is really sketchy. And for
Yeah.
Fiorentina, man, good result there. And Moise Keane, man, Moise Keane's been balling out, man. He's been really good for Fiorentina this season.
Yeah. Mm. I think,
So
well,
yeah,
overall,
like
I think Fiorentina have been all right this season, even though, yeah, they didn't win this game.
but yeah, I mean, and Milan, man, I think the top four hopes are done. I mean, look at this right
Yeah, I
now. They
mean, yeah.
are 8 points behind, and yeah, it's pretty much done. They're not getting top four. Bologna also have a game in hand as well, so yeah, it's done. And now, Milan, man, let's see what happens within the summer because they need to rebuild this summer. A lot of things have to change. Constance might leave. Some of the fraud players have to go. Like, I'm sorry, Felix needs to go. You might have to bin on some of the defenders there. I think Tomori might have to leave. Um, maybe sell Theo Hernandez. I don't know. Make some big decisions, I guess. And let's see what
Yeah.
Milan do this summer. And for Fiorentina, man, we'll see what happens with them.
Maybe they get Tonali back.
Yeah,
Of
we'll
course
see.
not.
Yeah, I don't think
Maybe
he's going to come
in
back
10
again.
years.
Yeah,
He
Lecce
loves
won,
Lukaku.
Venezia won. Not really much to say. Empoli nil, Cagliari nil.
Actually, look how many draws there was in Serie A.
Oh my
They have
jeez.
6 draws.
One, two, three, four, five. 6 draws. Jeez. Oh my jeez.
Yeah, only what,
Uh,
Genoa? Who the other ones? Lazio is probably the big winner because they actually won a game. Genoa, Como, and Lazio all got wins. So this is probably the big result, this one. Because I
yeah,
think
let's talk about this game.
that
Yeah,
has officially ended Atalanta in the title race.
yeah, yeah. Atalanta's
Remember
done. 100%.
they beat the team that I hyped up a
Juventus
while
4-0.
ago. Yeah, Juventus 4-0. Since then, last 3 games in a row without scoring a single goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It-
So the I think they're finished.
and I'm
Like
really worried for Atalanta this summer because
they're
I think
10.
Gasperini. Yeah, because I think Gasperini's going to leave. I think Lukman's going to leave, and I think we're going to see the beginning of end because Gasperini is pretty much the reason why Atalanta's been amazing. Without
Yeah,
Gasperini, I don't think Atalanta is going to be this good. And I'm telling you this right now, guys. Expect a massive drop off from Atalanta next season.
yeah,
Expect a massive drop off. So, I mean,
yeah.
are you worried? Are you worried for Atalanta in the future, or do you think they'll be fine with that Gasperini? Because I'm worried for them, bro. I'm really worried.
I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I don't really mind, but um, I guess for Atalanta, we'll see how things go. I mean, if they bring in like a very very good manager and rebuild unexpectedly good, then yeah, they could still be competing. But yeah, I think probably likely they could be having a bit of a drop off next season. But yeah, I think the focus for Atalanta now, because now from potentially being top 4 mainstay,
Yeah.
yeah, look at the league table and how close teams are. Atalanta, look, I know they beat Juventus 4-0. Juventus could leapfrog them,
No.
or even
No.
Bologna as well. So yeah, the the Champions League spot, because obviously Italy won't get the 5th place spot. So it's only the top 4, and the only 2 that have it, I think, on lock are Inter and Napoli, and Napoli still have to play Bologna, so that's going to be big. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, just at least something exciting in Serie A. Um, and for the game tomorrow between Bologna and Napoli, to make it just at least exciting, I hope Napoli win.
Yeah. It's bad, man. I'm worried for what's happened to Atalanta, bro. Atalanta, man.
Yeah, I
They
think
might.
they're done in terms of like title and all that aspirations they had early in the season, I guess. Yeah, and even after
Yeah.
that
Now.
4-0, 3 games in a row loss without scoring a single goal.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be crazy. Like them not getting Champions League after being in the top four for so long. I mean, it'll be like Leicester City. a few years ago. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys remember.
And I'm not saying it won't go as bad as Leicester, like how Leicester are now. I mean, it'll be. I don't think they'll get relegated, Atalanta, in like 2, 3 years. But yeah, I think for Atalanta, at least don't drop off as massively. Like, okay, if they are on the Champions League or not, at least get maybe European football again next season. But we'll see, we'll see. We'll talk about it when next year happens and all that.
Dang, Atalanta have some really tough games going on. Bologna, Milan,
Yeah, they play
Roma.
Bologna. That could potentially, if they lose to Bologna at home, because that's 3 home games in a row they've lost. If that's the case,
Yeah. No,
then
actually, Fiorentina was away. Fiorentina was away.
yeah, but then they lost to Inter and Lazio at home.
Oh, you mean like
If
the
they
home
lose,
matches? You mean though? Oh,
yeah.
you mean that
So
one?
if they lose to Bologna at home, we're outscoring a goal, then Atalanta are really, really screwed in terms of like mainstay top four to by basically doing an Arsenal, basically. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Roma won, Juventus won. I mean, this was a good game. I thought it was a decent game. Juventus took the lead there in the first half. I thought Juventus the first half were quite fantastic. They were really good the first half. I thought Roma were really not that great in the first half. Locatelli scored a banger from distance. But in the second half, man, Juve weren't great, and it was a game of two halves. And I don't know what's up with Juve. It's like we have a good half, and then the second half we're just garbage, or like one half is bad, and second half is like they're just not consistent. And Shomardov scored the goal there, scrappy goal there from the corner. And you know what the funny thing is? He literally came on just at halftime and made an instant impact. And so I think it's probably a fair result. I think both teams had their chance at respective halves, and yeah, I think for Juventus, man, Roma got the draw. Obviously, I think Juventus would be more happier the two teams since they're away, but Roma going to be probably be a bit frustrated when they win this game. And obviously, Juventus did sack their manager Mata and got $2 a replacement. So I want to hear from you, Ten. I don't know if we've talked about this. Do you think sacking Mata was a mistake or was the right decision?
I mean, at least they didn't lose, I would say. Like we'll see how it goes with Juve. Yeah, I mean the next few games are, you could say, kind of easy-ish. Let's say Parma and Monza. If they can win those 3 games, then I think they can maybe look ahead towards having Champions League football next season. I think that is basically going to be the aim now for Juventus. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I feel like $2 not a decent. He's a decent replacement. I don't think he's good for the long term though. I think he's just
Yeah.
gonna remain the rest of the season and maybe next season, but I don't think he's gonna be here for a while. And I wouldn't surprise me Juve sack him next season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Or do it over the summer and see.
Oh yeah, I do over the summer. Yeah, but yeah, I
Probably
will
the
say this
summer.
though: Juventus better get top four because I'm sorry, they cannot miss out on top four. It'll be a disgrace. So yeah, the
Otherwise, there'll
Bologna
be
Napoli.
just one other black and white striped team next season in the Champions League, and it won't be them. I know I'm
Yeah,
not wearing
Bologna
black and white, but yeah.
Yeah, Bologna and Napoli tomorrow, guys. We'll see how this game goes. Napoli needs to win here, and maybe Bologna can do Inter some favors by getting a draw here potentially, or maybe beating
Just
them.
to make Serie A interesting, I hope Napoli win. So I'll
Yeah,
go like 1-0 Napoli. The goat McGoatney, Scott McGoatney scoring in the last minute. Why not?
yeah. So let's go and do a poll for Serie A, and then we're gonna move on over to Bundesliga, and then we'll touch upon some other few leagues, and then we'll touch upon the big players of partners. I want to hear from Ten, in particular with that. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about. So actually, I don't think we'll do a poll for the Serie. Actually, let's do a poll for Serie A. Which team is winning? Actually, I'll just combine both Bundesliga and Serie A. So.
Okay.
And all right, just combine both, I guess, just for time's sake, as we're already an hour a minute, so we're um, a little bit, going a bit above it. I guess it's okay. Where are we in the comments? All right, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, former Real Madrid manager Pellegrini keeping Real Madrid's hot race in there. Milan ball to the lead. All right, peace out. All right, see ya. Good night. Bye-bye. Inter Milan miss Bastoni. Did Inter Milan summer transfer to help them? I don't think who did they brought in this summer? I don't think they really made many signs this summer. I think they got
Taremi,
Taremi.
but that really doesn't really count because he barely does anything. But yeah.
I think they got Zelensky as well, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
yeah, I think I'm not sure who is it? I'm not sure if he was there last season. Arnautovic. I might be wrong with that.
I think it was last season, last
Oh,
summer.
never mind. But yeah,
Yeah, not really.
I mean, I still think Inter have the best squad depth in Europe.
Yeah, Milan still finished. Yeah, I agree. Was bad. Yeah, I agree. Zelensky and Taremi. Milan needs to get back to their roots. Magnar should leave Milan. Imagine Virgil Aquino in the last two Conference League finals. Virgil saved the AF from abyss. Milan needs to have a core of Italian players. Conte has to be sacked. Why did Milan sell Tonali? That's a good
Because
question. I actually
we
don't know.
are rich.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's what
they had a lot
Tonali
of
is
money.
now, lifting a trophy.
Yeah. And then obviously I think Maldini left after that. Like, yeah, you guys sold Tonali. You guys are jokes, so I'm leaving too.
Yeah,
So
basically.
that's like Inter Milan signed Barella. Hello. Atalanta picked up the Europa League win. Atalanta go back to being an average team, to be honest. Yeah, Luke should leave Atalanta. He is going to leave. He's leaving. Juventus had Monza. I don't like that 50-50 gets you Champions League football. Utter woke nonsense. I also agree. Low Atalanta will get relegated anytime soon. I agree. Juventus haven't lost since Saki Monza. Juventus is like Moist and Man United.
Maybe like 2 games.
Uh, maybe. Uh, that's kind of an interesting comparison. Juventus aims to be winning Serie A. Oh, I agree. Italian versus Conte. Napoli will win. All
Oh,
right. All right. So as we move on over to the Bundesliga. Bundesliga, guys. Bundesliga. So Bundesliga, guys. Round 28. We got here. There's around 28. So Bayern got the 3-1 against Augsburg. But the bad news for Bayern is
no more Muti
Musiala. He's
tomorrow.
out for I think 4 to 6 weeks, which is a
That's
big
basically the
blow for
season.
Bayern.
That's
Yeah,
basically
basically
the
the season's
season.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, yeah, it's not looking good for Bayern there in particular, but they did get the win there, which they needed. It wasn't the most convincing win, but a win is a win. And yeah, Bayern got the win that they needed, and yeah, Bayern's still looking great. Obviously, Bayern had 2 games in a row. Obviously, had that bad run to spell here, but Bayern they got back-to-back wins. Their next game is the Dortmund game.
Yeah,
Dortmund
the
game.
classic.
Their Classicers next weekend, guys. So we'll just see what happens there. Bochum nil, Stuttgart 4. Stuttgart obliterated Bochum. Then, guys, Heidenheim nil, Leverkusen 1. Of course, Leverkusen, man. It just had to be, man. You just had to be. A last-minute win, man. It just feels like this is so normal for them when it shouldn't be normal. But yeah, I mean, do you think there's any chance for them to win the Bundesliga this season? Now that Bayern had 2 games in a row where they draw points, or yeah, still think Bayern's got
I
this.
mean, as long as Leverkusen keep winning, there's a chance. But have to check who they have in the next few games. But yeah, I think I hope there's a title race till the end. That would be nice. Like unlike the title race in France, whereby it's decided who won because they actually they haven't lifted the trophy, but yeah. But Leverkusen still have tough games, the final 6 games of the season, because the season's finished. Because they don't have the DFB, they don't have the Champions League, so there's only 6 games left. So all they have to do is just win 6 games and see how it goes. Whereas
Yeah,
Bayern, they still have the Champions League. If they somehow get past Inter, that's more games. So we'll see. We'll see.
So I mean, looking at Leverkusen's fixture list, which game would you say is the hardest? Because I'd say Union Berlin, St. Pauli, Augsburg should be winnable. I think these 3 games, the last 3 games, are gonna be tough.
I think
These are the
I'll say it'll depend on how close the title race is. I'd say actually Mainz are probably the difficult one, the last game.
Oh yeah, Mainz. Remember last season, guys? I remember a few years ago. Remember Mainz actually basically helped Bayern win the league.
Yeah.
So
And obviously now, different Mainz, but that time. This Mainz team, who knows? It could be if they, let's see how it goes for them, but, you know, could get them Champions League as well, Mainz.
so, so yeah, man. Good win there for Leverkusen. Dortmund, the last minute win. I'm sorry, Leverkusen, the last minute win. So Dortmund 4, Freiburg 1. And finally, Dortmund gets a big win on the road against Freiburg with a 4-1 win. So naturally, I have to ask those questions then. Is Dortmund back or is just one game tax?
Oh, they'll be back when they play Barcelona. Like the one game Barcelona loses in the first half
Uh,
of 2025 is that they get knocked out by
uh,
Dortmund now. It'll
you
be
know,
typical.
I'm actually worried because I might actually kickstart Dortmund's season. Like, imagine they beat Barca, they'll give them all the momentum, all the energy boost for the Bundesliga, and they'll be able to wrap it up. So, yeah, but
Or we
oh
get
man,
the Real Madrid Dortmund final again.
oh no, 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 it can't happen.
In Munich, imagine.
Dortmund win it this time,
We'll
just to
see,
make the
we'll
Bayern
see.
fans mad. But yeah, I mean, for Dortmund, as I said, being realistic here, they got the 4-1 at Freiburg, man. I was really surprised how bad they were, especially considering Freiburg were at home. Dortmund aren't looking that great. So, are you impressed what Dortmund did here, or are you just think that Freiburg was just really
I guess a bit of both, but I guess probably more so that I think Freiburg were bad, I think, and Dortmund just took the advantage.
bad? Yeah. So, Dortmund, man, it's a good win for them as they're 5 points adrift Champions League. Do you think there's any way they could get back any way they could get top four? I
Maybe,
wonder if
but I mean, if they lose to Bayern, let's say, then what? Are they now not getting Champions League? So I'll say right now, I'll say no. If they beat Bayern, okay, then I could be like, okay, momentum, and we'll see what they do in the two games against Barcelona when they knock Barcelona out somehow.
All right, so I'm just looking at their fixture schedule. So Dortmund got Bayern away. So yeah, Dortmund, if you really are serious about trying to get Champions League, you have to get a result against Bayern. Get a result against
Yeah,
Bayern. Then Gladbach at home should be winnable. Is what worries me more with Dortmund is their away games because I don't trust Dortmund on the road. It's Hoffenheim, Leverkusen,
except the one that just happened.
yeah, Holstein and Kiel. So really, it's these two away games I'm worried for Dortmund. Is that Dortmund wants to get Champions League, they're gonna have to win those games. They're gonna have to win those games. And knowing Dortmund, knowing how bad they're on the road, I don't trust them to win. So I do agree with 10. I don't think they're gonna get Champions League, but if they do manage to get a result against Bayern, then maybe
Yeah,
they
then
can.
yeah,
Mainz won, Holstein Kiel nil. One bad result for Mainz. Mainz should be winning this game, especially at home, but they didn't. And this could really hurt Mainz's chance of getting Champions League football. It's not looking good for Mainz there. And
yeah,
Leipzig also got a 3-1 win. The Werder Bremen beat Frankfurt 2-0. Guys, the top four race is really interesting. Bundesliga. I think that's the more interesting with the Bundesliga, guys, is the top four race here because the top four race is really unpredictable. So I think the teams are basically guaranteed, obviously, Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen.
yeah.
I think Frankfurt should still
That's
get third. I think Frankfurt should still get third. And then fourth is tough because I don't think we're going to get an additional team. So it's going to be four teams make it. So
yeah. Hopefully, Mainz.
if you had to pick, which team are you picking?
I
I
have to
think I'm going to
look
go
at.
with Leipzig. I'm going to go with Leipzig, I think.
I hope the fairy tale happens. So I'll say Mainz.
Yeah, I hope
Because
mine's, but I,
the
I
other
think
the other
Leipzig.
teams, Leipzig's not really a fairy tale. Gladbach, meh. Freiburg, Freiburg, I would
Ooh,
like, but I just don't think they'll do it. Dortmund, meh. Stuttgart, meh. Werder Bremen, meh. Augsburg, meh. Wolfsburg, meh. So I'll hopefully it's Mainz, because at least
yeah.
that's a bit new. Never played European football, I believe, as well.
Wow. Let me look at mine's schedule, actually. So mine's actually have Hoffenheim away.
Could be
And they
beatable.
got Wolfsburg at home. They need to
Okay,
beat
but
Wolfsburg.
I think they have
Bayern
to win the
away.
next two. At least win the next two.
Yeah, Frankfurt, Bochum,
I think the
Leverkusen, and
Frankfurt one is the big one. The Bayern game, let's see. And then they play Bochum and then Leverkusen on the final day. So they maybe decide who wins the title
yeah, I would like to
and
see
the
mine's in the
FA.
Champions League. Yeah, that would be nice to see. So
Yeah, Newcastle
can't wait.
against Mainz when Burkhardt scores against us last minute. I will not be there.
All right, let's read some comments. Where are we? So where are we? This will be a big Mr. Bayern. Musiala's out. I didn't hear he was out. Yeah, Musiala's out. Individual brand saving company. That should have been a red card for the Augsburg player. Leverkusen so inconsistent season. Leverkusen won't win it. Yeah, it's alright. Company tactics is anything that really stands out or anything. Prime Barca, he got relegated with Burnley with the tactics too. Low. Kane's such a diver. Son is so inconsistent. Mine stop Royce from winning the Bundesliga title. Also, I guess technically that's true, but also Dortmund themselves also didn't help either. So, looking at tax. Dortmund's back-to-back Champions League finals. I'll go bald. I don't. Well, let's see, man. Dortmund are 8th. Mine's the Champions League will be weird. Low. So going back to this comment, Dortmund attacks doing well right now. Do they look threatening, especially they decide to play low block at the back? The thing with always worries me at Dortmund is their defense is really sketchy. That's always what Dortmund's been letting down. So I think against Barca, if they want to have a chance to progress, they probably should play a low block because that's where Barca actually struggles the most. We struggle to break down low block teams. So yes, I do agree. But let's see, because let's be real, Barca's a way better team than Freiburg. So we'll see if how good Dortmund really are on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. As we move on over to Ligue 1. Then we'll touch upon the other few leagues, and then I want to hear from 10 about the 2 players, and then we'll wrap it up. So Ligue 1, as you can see right here, guys, PSG have won the league. Congratulations, PSG, for winning that trophy. You've already given it the start of the season. Congratulations. So, yeah, so for PSG, I think the thing that I'm more impressed with is not them winning the league, because obviously we knew they were going to win the league. But I think the thing that's more impressive to me is the fact they haven't lost a game. They haven't lost a game. I think that's really commendable. Because I saw something. There's never been a French team that's ever gone unbeaten before in the league. It's never happened. So PSG could be the first team to do so. And I don't care what people say, going undefeated in the league is very difficult and very impressive. There's a reason why only a few teams have done it. Okay? So, sure, I know the French league is not as impressive as other leagues, but still, to go undefeated in a league is still very difficult. So we have to give them the props that they do so. And guys, PSG are on course for a treble. They're on course for a treble. So we'll see if they actually
game against the Reims in the final of the Coupe de France. The thing with the Aston Villa games, as I said a while ago, they don't actually have a break. They do have a break in between the 2 Villa games. So they don't play a game in that weekend where they have Aston Villa. So it's back to back. Like the next 2 games are Aston Villa, both games. There's no game for them in the weekend for PSG. Wow. So maybe a bit of rest. And Aston Villa in that weekend play Southampton. So we'll see.
But yeah, anyways, let's look at the Turkish league real quick. Super League right here. I'll just list about the other leagues. So as you can see the table right here, guys. So obviously Galatasaray is 71 points. So 3 points. And remember, guys, Besiktas did inflict Galatasaray's first defeat. So what are we saying, 10? Jose Mourinho or still no?
What he did to the coach? Oh, I loved it. I love it. I would love him at Newcastle. But yeah.
I still think Galatasaray are favorites. I still got them to win the league, unfortunately. But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Fenerbahce win it. But I mean, it's only, 3 points?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, Galatasaray could lose, Fenerbahce win, and then we're back to, the same number of points with, 5 games to go, if that's the case.
So yeah, man, Fenerbahce, man, maybe they can actually do it.
Hopefully.
The final league
I would love to see
we're gonna look at. The final league we're gonna look at it is that Eredivisie, man. Ajax might actually be able to win this league. So that's crazy because I remember at the start of the season we were talking about PSV could win a fine or could do it, and it actually ends up being Ajax. It kind of came out of nowhere. So, I mean, assuming that Ajax do win this, and they should win this, how impressive do you think this will be from the start of the season?
Yeah, I guess it would be really impressive for them. I mean, almost certainly they'll win it. That means they'll be back in the Champions League after a couple seasons, I believe, not being in it. So, yeah, I mean, if I had to say, I probably would prefer to see Ajax in Champions League over the other teams. But yeah, I think we'll see how it goes with Ajax next season. But yeah, it'll be impressive for them with Farioli and George and all that. Of the most non-Dutch manager ever to win the league for Ajax. But yeah, good result that Ajax picked up, and yeah, it seems like they're going to win the league almost. I would say certainly now.
Yeah, I mean they have a how many points lead they have, and
9.
they have a 9 points. Yeah,
They've only
they're
lost 2 Eredivisie games, so it's been different.
yeah. So Ajax, man, and this will be the first league title since Eric Ten Hag, I believe, has left. So that'll be great for
Yeah,
them. So Ajax, man, where they back to
Evan
where they
Hag.
belong because Ajax should be winning this league. Like they're the best team of all time for Netherlands. So
Yeah.
one of the best teams. So yeah. All right, so 10, man, let's quickly do this last topic, and I want to hear from you, 10. So obviously, I did my video earlier today, guys, about KDB and Thomas Muller. So I want to ask you this question, man. Do you think that with their departure, obviously they're a legend for their respective teams. I think that's obvious. They're probably a legend for their well, Muller's definitely a legend for the national team.
Oh yeah.
KDB, I'm not sure if he's. I'm not really sure about this one. I'm not really sure about that one. But that's a bit touch and go. But I want to ask you this question: how do you think history will remember both of these players?
Uh, for KDB, is he in the
Yeah,
conversation of one of the best midfielders in the Premier League? Or obviously with Man City, yes. Uh, I would say yes. I think he is in that conversation now. 10 years in the Premier League, he has won 6 Premier League titles. He did win the Champions League. Uh, won two
treble.
Player of the Season awards. And yeah, I know he's been injured and all that, but even when he's back from his injuries, he still performs well and all that. So yeah, I think he'll be definitely more remembered for his club career, I would say. As for Thomas Muller, I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to another club, but he is a one club man, so there's that. Uh, and I guess, I mean, how history will remember him probably for his antics. But yeah, I think, I mean, obviously Muller is a legend because what do you call this? Obviously won the World Cup with Germany, so anyone that was in that team is a legend. Um,
Yeah,
Technically, one of the only few players to win 2 trebles, I believe. Not
yeah,
many
two
players have
trebles.
done that with the same
Yeah,
team, but not just the same like club or whatever, but somewhat 2 different sets of teams. Like his first treble in 2013 had like Robin, Ribery, Mandzukic. Yeah, was it Mandzukic?
yeah,
Yeah,
Mandzukic.
Mandzukic. I'm trying to think of who else was Philip Lahm. Uh, was Tony Kroos in that team in 2013? I don't know. Was he?
Let me check that real
Oh
quick.
yeah, 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 yeah. 2013. And then 2020, the other treble with Lewandowski, with Alaba, with Davy. So he's won 2 trebles with in a way, 2 different sets of teams. I know Messi won, a couple of trebles, but that was with almost like a similar core of players. Muller managed to win 2 trebles with 2 sort of different teams, 7 years apart. So yeah, I think yeah, I guess obviously club legend and all that. So we'll see how Bayern do. Well, I mean, we already see how Bayern do without him. They become a bit more shit, I'll be honest. But yeah, I think. Oh, I would love it if somehow Bayern do make the Champions League final. What you call this? Thomas Muller did score in Munich against Chelsea in the 2012 Champions League final. I would love it if the same thing happens. They play Arsenal. Thomas Muller his last ever match, because it will be his last ever match if they make it that far. His last ever match
Nah,
with
that's
Bayern
crazy.
Munich is the Champions League final in Munich, and he scores, but Mika Marino, Arteta, Bukayo Saka, and whoever else in the Arsenal team will do what Chelsea did to Bayern, 13 years ago. Arsenal will beat Bayern and Thomas Muller, just like how Marco Reus wasn't able to win a trophy with his last ever game for Dortmund. I think the same will happen with Thomas
That's
Muller.
crazy. That's
Come on,
crazy,
the
bro.
Arsenal.
That's crazy. Okay, but I want to ask you this question.
It's written in the stars.
Okay, so I want to ask you this question. When you think about best midfielders and this generation, do you think KDB and Muller are part of those greatest midfielders, or no? You don't think so?
I guess KDB. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't really count Miller as a midfielder. I count more of a center forward. But
Okay,
I
center
think over
forward.
the past, I would say the early parts of Thomas Muller's career, like 2009 until like 2015, 2016, was probably his best time when he was younger. Because obviously that was with the two World Cups that Germany were really good and all that. So yeah, I think in terms of Germany, he's up there. With Bayern, he's definitely up there. But in terms of like of all time, of every single midfielder, and I would say
Uh,
no for Thomas Müller. But for KDB, yeah, I think he's in that convo. Probably not of like the number one of all time, but I think he's in a tier you could say maybe below a player like Xavi, Iniesta. He's
yeah,
in
yeah.
that. He's not in that tier, but he's maybe the tier
Let's get below
below.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, and that basically means you're at that would be like I don't know who else I would think in that tier. I would say like maybe Tony Kroos,
yeah. Cruz,
uh,
Fabregas.
Fabregas, Pirlo. I think KDB is in that bracket of
Yeah,
midfielders of all time, at least in recent
yeah,
memory, not of all players from like
yeah, yeah.
1920.
Yeah, so I think, and I think the thing is like when it comes to legends, I think Muller has a better legendary case than KDB because he's won more trophies, and I think people remember him for it. And I do think he has better longevity than KDB. But in terms of pure footballer, I do think KDB is probably better than Thomas Muller in terms of overall, like like as a player, your technique and skills because Muller doesn't really have that much technique to be honest with you. So I think KDB
Yeah,
surpasses in that sense. So, but yeah, we're gonna miss these players because it's weird that KDB and Muller, they're like kind of. I know KDB it's not a one player club. I know he's obviously played for Wolfsburg, but we remember
and
KDB for his
Chelsea.
Manchester City. Yeah, well, yeah, Chelsea, but we remember KDB more for his. We remember KDB most at Manchester City, and I just feel like it is home. You know,
Yeah,
and this AC in 10 years, so it is going to be weird to see, and I'm sad to see both these players leave. I think both these players are tremendous at
yeah,
their respective teams, and
yeah.
it'll
It'll
be
be
interesting
like
to see
Denali
how.
in like 7, 8 years when he wins us a
So,
Champions League, maybe one or two Premier Leagues. So we'll see. We'll see.
yeah,
But
so
yeah,
I want to ask you this
KDB.
question. I want to ask you this question before I round up, and then we'll get to your guys' comments and we'll wrap it up. Where do you think KDB is going to go after this? Do you
I
think he's going
guess.
to go to MLS, Saudi, Belgium, maybe go back to his boyhood team? That'll be nice.
Or I mean, Wolfsburg are playing. Maybe he goes to Wolfsburg, but I'll
Wolfsburg?
say. Uh, I mean, I'll probably. I have a feeling he'll retire with the Belgium national team after the World Cup if Belgium are in it, and maybe to prepare himself, I will say MLS. I don't know where. I don't really
Inter
care.
Miami.
No,
Inter
no, no.
Miami.
Oh yeah, into Miami, or just I would love to see him spray passes to this player. Oh, bring him to Atlanta United. KDB to Miggy Almiron. Oh, fantastic.
KDB Charlotte. Charlotte, please. Charlotte, please sign him. Charlotte, please.
But yeah, I think my prediction he goes to MLS, kind of gets
As for
himself
Muller,
maybe ready for the World Cup if Belgium make it. So I
um,
think
y- yeah,
I guess it seems logical. I guess.
I think Muller's gonna retire. I don't think he's going to another club. I think he's gonna retire.
Oh yeah, I think he's what 34, 35, 36.
Yeah, yeah,
So
35. Yeah, I think he's gonna retire.
yeah, and I still remember him from 2010. That's how long it's been. I remember him from South Africa.
Dang, Muller's goal scoring record is unmatched. Like his goal scoring record is really impressive for a player that doesn't have that much technical skills, which is really impressive.
Yeah, you know, here's the fun stat. You know, Thomas Muller's last ever major tournament goal was the 7-1.
Wow,
He
that's
hasn't.
crazy.
He didn't score in the previous three Euros. He didn't score in the last two World Cups, the one that Germany got grouped. So yeah, at least, but ultimately he won a World Cup. So there's
Yeah,
always that. Because Germany aren't really nowadays. Germany aren't known for winning Euros. It's this country I'm living in that's known for it now. Viva
yeah.
España.
So yeah, Dortmund defense last year UCL. Yeah, Dortmund defense last year was great in the Champions League. Dortmund always have defensive issues. We don't start with low block teams. We start with low block teams that foul a lot. Ref doesn't care. That's pretty much kind of the same thing. So I'm not really sure where you're coming there from, but okay. It's literally PSG's league. I'm not saying congrats to them. They shouldn't be losing in Nations League on the players they have. Champions League where Matt matters for Oh yeah, obviously. PSG really got an unfair advantage of the breaks they get. They barely doesn't have the schedule at all. Mourinho touched his nose. Mourinho's Fenerbahce experiment has failed. Galatasaray win it. Ajax back to where they belong. Ajax to recover from Town leaving now. Ajax prove Andy is more important in the beginning. Yeah, that's always true. Muller playing for another club feels wrong, so hopefully he retires. I agree. De Bruyne's probably a Belgian legend too. Well, I was saying I was kind of a bit hesitant there because he doesn't really have any
I
he
mean,
doesn't
I
have a
guess
standout tournament.
I think the one tournament he was good in was 2018. I think his moment with Belgium was scoring that goal against Brazil. I think that was his moment with Belgium. Ultimately, still didn't win any trophies in the so-called golden generation.
And
But yeah, he,
that's probably his best international tournament, but I think people remember that more for Eden Hazard and Courtois and maybe Lukaku.
oh yeah, but I think that specific goal in 2018
Yeah, it was a
and
good one.
against
Yeah,
Brazil
I mean it was a good goal.
it was his Belgium moment, I guess.
Oh yeah. De Bruyne was more consistent at Manchester City than Zidane was for Real Madrid Juventus. Don't okay, that's true, but I still think Zidane's a better player, footballer than KDB. Come on, let's not
Yeah,
go
I
that
think
deep.
people. I mean, people, even the kids probably know who Zidane is. I don't know if they'll probably remember KDB in like
Yeah, like the thing
20 years after
the thing is
retiring.
I don't think people remember. I don't think KDB is Muller will be that much remembered from
Yeah,
like
like let's say
no
20 years after they retire, people will probably still remember Zidane not as really a manager, but more as a footballer
yeah.
after
I don't think
retirement.
I don't
Or
think
like
KDB and
Messi,
Muller.
Ronaldo,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think KDB and Muller will be remembered as Messi and Ronaldo, for instance. Like I don't think they'll be remembered
or
as that.
Zidane. Yeah,
Yeah. Um. These injuries and average rating came back for KDB. Came back to bite KDB most comedian. Most someone never scored at Euros for Germany. That's crazy. There's an
yeah,
asterisk in the 2019, 2012. Well, he still won it, man. So we still won it.
yeah.
And come
He
on, don't take
technically
it for
still
that.
won it.
So I don't want to
And
hear,
they
oh, it
too.
was an asterisk, whatever. He still won it, okay? And it was still very dominant. So let's not be
Yeah,
that harsh.
To be honest, Bayern were always winning that season before
So
COVID and all.
yeah, most longevity's been insane. Yeah, that's true. Longevity wise, Muller has a really good case. Like just
Yeah, he
longevity,
was
most players
what
don't have
20
longevity.
when at in South Africa. So I
Yeah,
basically, to be honest, I've actually seen his entire career. I lived through it,
Muller's been
or I've
Muller's been
seen it.
phased out
Yeah,
well at Bayern. Yeah, that's true. I think Bayern's
right.
actually managed to phase out Muller better than Manchester City phased out KDB. So
Yeah.
Arsenal are making the Champions League final. Pure
What do you
delusion, man.
mean?
Arsenal Bayern are making the final. Bro, it's just a hypothetical situation, okay?
Oh,
I'm not saying it's gonna
please,
happen for sure.
please, please! I would love it. Arsenal v Bayern, Champions League final. Müller scores in his last ever match with Bayern, but Arsenal
Yeah,
win it.
I would agree.
Marino!
You know,
Oh!
Yeah, you know, be really crazy. We get a Villa versus Dortmund final. That would be crazy.
Eh,
That would be crazy. That would be crazy
eh.
if that happens.
No,
That
for
happens.
the big name, obviously everyone would say El Clasico. Maybe you can say PSG Barca, but for the what do you call this? The banter, the
Answer.
laugh, the amazingness of it,
Yeah,
just
Arsenal.
for the vibes, it's Arsenal v Bayern.
Yeah, I think
Please.
that's the best banter. That's the best banter final you can get.
Oh, I
I don't
would
think it's
love
anything
it.
better.
I would love it. Arteta or company.
Bayern making the
5-1.
championship
Pray
final.
for Bayern. Pray for Arsenal. Oh, I would love
Bayern
it.
making the championship. No, I mean they can. They can. One like it says easy, not because. Man, whatever. Whatever. You're just being harsh. All right, I know. What was it, Rod Mader? Oh yeah, that's also true as well. Did Brian over Zidane? No. I definitely
No,
disagree. Oh, is he
no,
better than Modric? No.
no.
Seedorf.
I would say he's probably matched it.
Skulls.
I would say matched it.
Roy Keane.
Matched it.
Oh, actually, I want to ask you this question: is he Manchester City's best player of all? Would you say he's Manchester City's best player of all time? KDB. Because I'm saying Aguero is, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're building a statue for him. So, and I think there's only two players they've done statues for. I'm not sure, Aguero and David Silva. So I'm pretty sure they're building a statue for KDB. So there's a case.
Yeah.
What he does have over those two, Champions League. That's what he has over
Oh,
them. So
so
I
I
guess
guess you're saying that
on
right.
the basis of that, I have to say yes for KDB. He is.
Okay. Yeah, Muller. Muller's definitely not Bayern's best
And
player.
and also because the Aguero kept on scoring against Newcastle, so of course,
Okay.
Holland doesn't score against Newcastle, but Aguero always does, always.
Okay. And Muller is definitely not Bayern's best player of all time. I think we could all agree with that.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's well,
it's
it's the other
Beckenbauer.
Muller,
Oh yeah,
Gerd Muller.
Jared Muller. Oh yeah, or Franz Beckenbauer. You could also maybe say.
Oh yeah, or Beckenbauer, or who do you call this? Goretzka.
Goretzka. Wait, Goretzka. What the heck? Maybe Lemon. Actually, is Lewandowski clear Muller?
No,
Ooh.
no, I don't think no.
Okay, Muller's definitely top 10 Bayern, that's for sure. But I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think he's the best.
definitely.
KDB
Yeah,
is also
Thomas
top 10.
Müller.
Roy Keane. It's weird how KDB's finished, but Salah's still going the same age. It's gonna be weird not seeing De Bruyne in the Premier League. What about Inter Milan? I don't think KDB's going to another European team. But you know what? If he does go to another European team, I think Inter Milan might be the. I don't know. I don't think Inter's gonna do it though. I don't think they'll do it.
I think it'll probably just be Belgium, but I think he is starting to know that his time in like how Tony Kroos knew it's going to be his time to retire. I think the summer of 2026 might be the last one, or the winter of 2026 if he's in
But,
MLS or whatever.
but you
So
know what the thing is, Kroos
2026
was
will
still
be
good. Kroos was still really
yeah,
good last season. Like in his last season, he still had a really good last season, and he still
yeah,
decided to retire. That's pretty surprising.
yeah,
So yeah, Muller could have been all-time World Cup goal scorer. Lowe should have been the
yeah.
failed generation. De Bruyne's too good for MLS. Oh yeah, of course we know that. De Bruyne's more and more Champions League Manchester City. De Bruyne's Manchester City's best player in Premier League. That's debatable. You can make
And
argument with
company,
bad
yeah.
defense. Yeah, Company is also a good shout. I think it's either Company, Aguero, or KDB. I think these are the three you can make an argument for. With how bad defense against Arsenal has a chance to take revenge against Barcelona, but the outsiders Inter. Villa can make the surprise by dying semifinal. Well, Arsenal need to get past Real Madrid first. Let's put it this way. If only De Bruyne won the 2018 World Cup Euro 16. Muller is top 10 Bayern player of all time. I think KDB should go to Saudi. I don't think he's going to go to Saudi. KDB and Muller eligible to sing for any club for any team to reinforce the FIFA World Cup. Yeah, just imagine they'll be the guys. Well, I think. Well, has Muller already retired from international football?
Yeah, I like he doesn't even get called up, so I think
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah,
done.
yeah.
KDB,
Yeah.
I think 2026 if Belgium make the World Cup, I think that's his. However far Belgium make it, that's his end.
Yeah. So Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy today's stream. Guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Champions League reaction, guys. As we look at the Champions League, guys. Then can Arsenal beat Real Madrid?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll
Please.
see, man. We'll see.
I would love to see it. Arsenal Bayern, here we go. Final.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later, man. Peace out.